Hello my fellow substitute school teachers, my name is Mr. Robert, and in this video I am going to cover the top questions that I have received from other substitute school teachers. I hope to give you some tips and tricks on some of the top questions that most substitute school teachers want to know. Now, if this is your first time watching my video, I do recommend you subscribe, comment, and like this video so that I can make more content for you. All right, let's get right into it. The number one question that I get asked from fellow substitute school teachers is, how do you quiet down a noisy class? Now, the important thing to notice about when you have a noisy class is that somewhere down the line in your day of teaching, you have lost control over the class is noisy, and now you're trying to think of a reactive strategy, meaning the damage has already been done. How can I fix it? And so when you think that way, I think it's important to think of strategies to prevent that in the first place. So instead of asking, how can I bring the noise level down in a noisy class, you should be asking, how do I prevent that from happening in the first place? Now, if you want to know my most important strategy and tip for preventing noisy classrooms or any undesired behaviors in the classroom, I do recommend you watch a video somewhere up here that deals with my 3-step model and teaches you how to use specifically the whole class token economy system. That is my bread and butter for all of my success in the classroom. Check that video out. Okay. You lost control and you need to think of a strategy to get the noise level back down. My best strategy is going to be told through a story. About a year ago, I was in a classroom and I got pulled out of that classroom because the office needed help in another classroom where the substitute teacher just had no control. I walked into the classroom and lo and behold, the kids are out of their seats, literally writing on the board. The teacher was in the corner with her head down. And the one thing that I noticed as soon as I walked in is body language. Body language is huge in teaching in general. So being in the corner with your head tucked down is showing the kids that you have no control over the classroom. So the number one thing that you want to do when you have a noisy classroom is you want to be straight in the front of the class. Maybe hands are crossed, everybody's looking at you, you're standing up tall. Once you've established some pretty good body language, I usually use an attention getter to try to get the student's attention. Something as simple as, if you can hear my voice, clap once, okay? Let's say one student does it. Now, when you're doing this, you do not want to yell. As a matter of fact, the quieter you are, the better. There's been some classrooms that are noisy where I just whisper, and the students are kind of like, wait a second, he's trying to say something. Let's listen to what he has to say. So they, in turn, quiet down. Attention getter, you clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap once. Jim, great job, Jim. You did an awesome job. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. And then maybe 3 or 4 other students, join in and clap. And then you praise. And you keep praising and praising and praising until you can get the class's attention and have everybody quiet. Now, if you have not set up any kind of reward system, like I said earlier, then this is a great time that you want to do that now. All right, wow, finally, the class is completely quiet. You know what? Because you guys did such a great job, X, Y, and Z, and then, the next time this comes around, you can say, hey, if we can stay quiet for another 10 minutes, then we can do blah, 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 some other kind of reward. But the main thing here is try to prevent it from happening in the first place. If it doesn't and you kind of lost it, then you want to remember body language, and you want to use some kind of attention getter to get the class to some adequate noise level so that you can then introduce a reinforcement system by rewarding the students for seeing the behaviors that you want to see. Okay, second question. What is in your sub bag, Mr. Robert? Well, first of all, I bring a backpack to class, and if you look in my backpack, I literally have nothing but a puppet. Yes, because I do elementary school, and I love to bring Nucciella because he is a big reinforcer, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, boys and girls, we are going to learn any subject that we want today. And the reason I do that is because I teach primary grades. Now, you're asking, Mr. Robert, you're telling me to bring a puppet to class? No, what I want you to take from this puppet that I bring to class is think of something that you like to do. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe you like to do yoga. Maybe you like to take pictures. Whatever it is, bring it in close, okay? So don't bring the stickers, don't bring the food, and don't go wasting money on unnecessary things that you need to buy to be a good substitute school teacher. Bring a pen, And bring your phone, because you're going to need to put alarms on for when recess and lunch is. That's a big one also. Make sure to set up an alarm, because I often forget when recess and lunch is. But find out what you can bring that's not going to cost you a dime, and it's not going to make your day any harder in the classroom. And it's pretty neat when you can show a puppet to a student. It's pretty neat when your students can hear what you can play, maybe a harmonica. Or it's pretty neat when you can teach them a downward dog, right? And you bring your mat. So those are all strategies that you want to use in your sub bag. Other than that, you don't really need to bring much, okay? Be yourself, be funny, be motivating, and humanize yourself. That is the best tips that I can give you as far as what to bring to class every day. Another question is, what are your top reinforcers? My top reinforcers, I'll give you one of them, and that is going to be in the elementary school level. And if you want to know a list of pretty much all my reinforcers that I use that do not involve any other materials that you need to bring to class, then I do suggest that you check out my mini series that I just put out, that is going to guide you from step 1 all the way to step 10. That's going to show you exactly how to be the perfect substitute school teacher. But my top reinforcer in the elementary level is a game called Guess Who's Missing. And what you do is one of the students, you pick on a student to go outside of the classroom, right outside the door. You have them hang out there, and you tell them that you'll come and get them when you're ready in about 2 minutes. And if they go anywhere else in the school, they will not be able to participate in the game. Never had a student ever run off. And then the rest of the students, you ask for another volunteer, and that person is going to be the hider. They go under a desk or in the closet or whatever, or, behind a board or something. And then you get all the remaining students to have them stand up and shuffle to a different desk, so that they're not in their assigned seats, so to say. You bring that student back in, and that student now has 30 seconds to guess who in the classroom is missing. And I usually preface it with, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to round 1 of Guess Who's Missing. Let's meet our contestant. This is Rob. Hey, Rob. Okay, here we go. We have 30 seconds. Can you, in the class, guess who's missing? Kids love the game. They want it over and over, so you can use this reinforcer. You can rinse and repeat the same reinforcer over and over and over again. And they even ask for it, throughout the day, which is pretty neat. You can play 1 round if you're running it short on time. You can play 10 rounds if you have a lot of time. So that is my top reinforcer at the elementary school level, and kids love it. And my last top question that I get all the time is, what do you do with a disruptive student? One of my strategies, and my main strategy, I will say, for my mini series, again, you want to go check that out, but one of the strategies that I use when there's one disruptive student is you always want to present, and this is a research-based tip here, choice making, okay? Because choice making gives the student a sense of control when you are asking them to do something. So a lot of students that have behaviors in the classroom are used to being told, no, you can't do that, don't do this, don't do that. So they're not going to listen to just another human being that tell them not to do something. Instead, you want to present whatever it is that you are asking in a choice. So an example of that is if there's a child that does not want to come back from recess back into the classroom, right? And you're having a difficult time. Instead of saying, you need to come right now or else I'm going to call the principal or something like that, why don't you say, hey, what do you want to do? How about, you know what? Let's do whatever you want to do. Would you like to skip back to class? Or do you think that we should pretend we're pirates and we are going to sword fight back to class? Whatever. And now they have autonomy. They feel like they are in control of the situation. Now, what you've done is you've manipulated the situation to either option being in your favor and whatever the demand that you have asked being completed, but the students now have a sense of choice. They have a sense of freedom, like, wow, I can either choose this or that. That's pretty cool. Another one is, you can leave right now, or do you want to play for a minute and then we can leave? Offering choices. Anytime students get difficult at wanting to do something, offer choices. That's research-based strategy that will work for you, and it'll change a lot of the behaviors that you're going to see with some of your students. Now, those are my top questions that I have gotten asked by fellow substitute school teachers. If you have a question that you would like answered, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I will either reply to your comment or I will make another video answering your question. Now, before I let you go, I did want to let you know that I have now available a mini series that goes into depth on how to be the perfect substitute school teacher. I also teach you how to be prepared without having to prepare. Substitute school teachers do not get paid a ton of money, and we should not be giving our extra time to be able to read subnotes and get our day organized. I show you how to come into class and use strategies that are going to get you prepared for the day without having to get there early. All right, as always, please remember, the more you reinforce, the less behaviors you will see in the classroom. Bye for now.